Hey, my gosh. Sorry, guys. I was still looking at my screen up here. Word. It is awesome to have you guys back with me again for another stream here on the Brain Drain. I forgot where I was for a moment. Yes, we've got the Auburn Tigers against the hated Georgia State Panthers. We can't hate them too much because one of their assistant coaches is one of my favorite Auburn players ever, Alan Payne, a.k.a. AP, who I absolutely love on a personal level. I thought he played his balls off when he played for Auburn. And now he's an assistant coach for the Panthers, and he's been there for a little while. And I'm still trying to get this. Oh, I forgot it was on streaming tonight, you guys. I totally forgot. What a bonk on my part. Anyway, guys, so stoked to have you guys here tonight. And we got some football news to discuss, which is that Amaris Williams, who had announced or had said earlier that he was going to be getting in the transfer portal, is not getting in the transfer portal. He's going to be staying at Auburn. And this happened after he had a heart-to-heart with Sir DJ Durkin. I'm trying to find the right color here. Sir DJ Durkin made a house call, as some would say, and got that straightened out. So that's big. I told you guys on the show I did not like the idea that Amaris Williams is going to be leaving. I think he's terrific. So anyway, feel like a stranger had a super chat. Let me hit you up over here, bro. Had an early super chat here, and that's what we love to see. He says, yeah, word up, Drainers, Swigans, and Tates. Heady times. Let's get everyone turned up and on point. Still want to see Cheney lock in. Appreciate you, bro. That's way too quiet for that sound. Did get my buttons back working, and that's what you love to see. We also have a super chat coming through from T Park. Tuesday Night Hoops, LFG JGT, my man. We love T Park. I love T Park. You guys may not even know him. Because he doesn't necessarily hang out with everybody all the time, but he has hung out with me at our bourbon event in Atlanta last time with some of his homies, including Kenny Irons and others. And we're going to have our first score of the game as Chad Bacon Lasagna steals the ball and goes in left-handed. Things you love to see. I'm going to leave the Georgia State scouting report up there for the moment, for the time being. And you can kind of see they've got some issues that they're working through, and I would expect Auburn to win this game by more than a point or two. But it's always a pleasure watching them play because we are truly in the halcyon days for Auburn basketball. Look at the harassment by Sir Janai Broome on defense there. Auburn defensive rebounding, again, very well. Such a huge element of the game last weekend, the big win against Ohio State. When I say big, I mean by a lot of points. Janai goes in left-handed. And you know what happens when Janai goes in left-handed? It's one of these. Drop! He's 85% with his left hand inside of 6 feet. I don't know why they don't just give it to him all the time. He's a metaphorical Wilt Chamberlain. You just feed him the ball, and he's going to score the basketball. More great defense from Janai right there. Outstanding. Uh-oh. What's he doing? Janai just ran off the court. Cheney's about to check in. I don't understand what happened there. He was going for a rebound. It looked like he was grabbing his shoulder or his arm or something. Oh, shit. That's like his shoulder. He is checked out. Let's see what's going on. Please, can we get a camera on, the player of the year? Anyone? T-Roy Tiger calls him Chad Baker, the lasagna maker. Hey, I gave a shout-out on today's video that we did for Portal Season. I don't know if you deserve that one. You deserve something. You definitely gave me the idea on one of those things, but I think I might have given Runner 24's idea to you. But, it's all good. We're all brothers, right? And sisters. In J-Bell's case, 4-2. GW says, major upset alert. Georgia State will win this game on the spread board if you give them the 55 points. Hey, now, you love to see it. Is there any way we can get an update on Janai Broome? Good golly, Miss Molly. Melee says, season's over. We're in equestrian school, my man. Hey, equestrian team does look really good, to be fair. And I still am marinating on Amaris Williams coming back. I wasn't surprised when I found out the DJ had gone out there to see him. I mean, because that's when you're sending the cavalry like that, things happen. Let's see. T-Roy Tiger says, I didn't deserve it for the check marks, but great idea from the bunker. Okay, so that must have been Running 24's idea. I'm going to have to give him some kind of a commendation for that. We will figure that out. Poppy Clan in the house is Jay Jeezy, my man. So glad to have you here, Poppy. I saw your Browns the other day playing better football than my dog shit team. 10 losses in a row now for the Raiders. The Browns are better than that, although they're not awesome. We're still in the running the way I look at it with 3 games to go. If the season ended today, we'd have the number 1 pick, and that's what you love to see. But I got off topic. Talking about Amaris Williams. If he's going to be back, on my little, when we do those videos for the portal season, I talk about Auburn's needs. If he's going to be back, then I think the need for defensive tackle slides a little bit just because he's such a good player. And I just love the way that's going. I think they'll be able to get some work done out of him. I think he could be a full-time player next year. Cleveland Brown, my man, says, "What's up, JG? Stay hydrated. My Falcons should have lost. Kirk is ass." Kirk did not have a good game last night. He did not have a good game last night. I get the feeling that some of my friends are Falcons fans, and it seems like Kirk has not been what they had hoped to this point. Jackson says, "Why aren't you freaking out about Janai?" I don't have any information. That's why. They didn't even show where he went or what's going on or any of that. Ephesians says, "Jay, will Las Vegas take Cam Ward or Sanders?" It's going to be one of those two. Has to be, unless they've got some idea on a quarterback, which would baffle me if they're going to pull one out of their metaphorical hat. You know what I mean? GW says, "Man, that Raiders quarterback looks great. No need to draft another. I think the Rizzler can be the shitter." Hey, he's a great guy to have right now because we need to lose every game possible, and he's great at losing football games. So, Yabo, what's up, brother? I says, "Let's go, Ward Am Eagle." My man, we'll give him an applause for that one. Glad to have you back with us here on the Brain Drain, sir, as we watch the Auburn Georgia State game. Let me go ahead and update that score to 6-2. I figure, Tuesday night, really pretty day out here in central Alabama. It was about 75 to 80 and sunny and just really, really nice. So maybe everybody was out, having a day and they're tired or whatever. Plus, Georgia State, Tuesday night. I figure we wouldn't have a ton here. Daniel says, "Daddy Sanders ain't going to let his baby boy go anywhere but Vegas." I mean, I guess it's fine. I don't really know who to pick between those two. Shedeur had a really good year. I kind of feel dirty for not voting him for the Heisman. Not number 1, but somewhere on my list. I did share my Heisman vote on the board after it happened, so I don't get in trouble. But it was very, very plain. I had Travis Hunter number 1. I had Ashton Jeanty number 2, and had Dylan Gabriel number 3. Thought about the kid at Indiana, just because he played great, and Indiana is usually trash, and they're in the playoff, largely because he was so good. Justin says, I'm just tuning in. Did Broome's injury look bad? It did, kind of. So what happened was he was going up for a board, and he got his arm kind of tangled with another guy, and the other guy had actually gotten the rebound, and he kind of was wrestling the ball away, and so Broome's arm, he kind of had a hook on Broome's arm. He didn't mean to, and then Broome kind of grabbed at his shoulder and ran off the court. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Is it a dislocated shoulder? Is that a shoulder strain? I don't know what that is. So we'll try to see what the information is. Yabo says, "I'm going to see Christmas lights with the fam and can't see the game." It's interesting you say that, Yabo, because I was just out. Me and my wife went out looking at, obviously she wanted to do that. Go look at Christmas lights the other day, and she was reminiscing about how much fun she had when she was a kid going out in the car with her sister and brother and doing that as a family, and it's been so long and blah, blah, blah. We did that too. And so we kind of missed it. So, man, you're making memories right there that will probably last a lifetime for your kids. So, look at it that way. It's time well spent. And we'll still be here for you when it's not longer Christmas season. Ephesians says, "I love how ESPN says, yeah, best player in the country's hurt. Let's not say a word about it." I know. I was like, can we say something? Matthew R says, JG, let's go. What's up, bro? Glad to have you here with us again. And Daniel D says, we suck again. Sad face. Hey, I know you guys have been watching the videos I've been doing for portal season. Appreciate you guys. I told Courtney when I did the first one, I was like, if I get 1,000 views on this, I'm stoked. And we got like 3,000. And the one we did yesterday got almost 6,000. Which is, again, way beyond my expectations. So thank you guys for watching. I know a lot of you guys have been commenting on there. I know for sure T-Roy Tiger has been, and Ravin, and a bunch of other folks, but whatever. There's Runner 24. I hope you know that I gave you credit for the shopping list. I'm sorry that I gave that to T-Roy Tiger on the show, on the video, I should say, but I'm giving it to you, and I think before you got here, or maybe not, whatever. Let's see. Daniel's wife said it didn't look like a dislocation. She's not a doctor at all, but she did say it at Holiday Inn Express last night. Oh, man. Cleveland Brown says, hey, why did you turn off comments in the last portal season? Good God, did I really? So the thing is that the default setting there is to have them off. And so I guess every now and then I just forget to add them or whatever. I don't know. I'm going to check right now. I appreciate you saying something, Cleveland Brown. Comments are off. Yeah, I'm sorry. They just changed the machination on how to do that. All right, comments are now on. And thank you very much, sir, for letting me know that. Because I would have been like, nobody's commenting. Why? All right, 8-4. Streaming games are really bad for me because I use a just absolutely dog water TV to watch, to use as a TV here. Because, I just didn't think I need a small one, So I have this Vizio that's like, I bought on super duper clearance. It probably is like a 2015 model. And like it does stream stuff, but it doesn't do it very well, as you guys know, with Vizio. I probably just need to get like an actual computer monitor, but I haven't done it yet. Scott C says, can Broome get a medical red shirt? Guys, we're going to be all right. Daniel D says, the portal season videos are nice wrap-ups. For most of us, it's not new information, but your insight editorialization is a nice touch. It's interesting that you say that because I was talking to somebody the other night that said, I appreciate you just kind of bringing the straight scoop, or not scoop, but, straight talk instead of editorializing it. And I kind of thought to myself, I do editorialize a little bit. Just, I kind of sprinkle it in. But, yeah, Daniel D, you're right. I mean, for folks like you who are on the board a lot, who are paying attention because you have that passion for really knowing everything that's going on with Auburn football and basketball, a lot of it is going to be old information. GW says, JGT ain't fooling me. He's got a side monitor with the Oklahoma City-Milwaukee game on. No, I don't. Okay, maybe I do. Got a big game tonight, the NBA Cup Final between my Thunder and America's Bucks. Christian Clemente is a Bucks fan, unless he's changed his allegiance again. He used to be a Titans fan, then he gave up on him, and now he's a Chargers fan of all things. I haven't talked to him about the Bucks. But we'll see. Let's see. Melee says, with modern medicine and treatment, Broome should be available by the SEC tournament. We'll put him in the hyperbaric chamber. He'll be fine. No problem. Poppy Clan noting that Sir Turtle, number 8, is in, getting some prime minutes here. Now with Janai out, yeah, that's going to change the rotational situation at the 4 because you've got Cheney. Well, here at this point, you got Cheney and Turtle playing together. So you got Chad Bacon Lasagna at 3. You got Tahad at 1. Denver at 2. Boy, this is an interesting lineup. You don't really have a center. Yeah, I guess Turtle's playing center. I think of him as a 4, but he can play center. I'd really like for him to have like a 10-point game because I've been telling people in the bunker he's got some shooting ability, and everybody's like, no, he doesn't. I'm like, no, he really does. I promise. Watched him play a lot in the summertime. And in the summertime, summertime. That is a tremendously bad shot from Georgia State there. Auburn's defense has been playing pretty well. The offense has been a little laggy so far. And we haven't even had our first real timeout, have we? Let's see. Satoshi, what's up, bro? Says Chad Bacon Lasagna doing way too much right now, which happens sometimes. Broome's absence is affecting our play right now. Sheesh, it's okay. It's so rare that Auburn has to play without Janai. There's a little. Denver Jones, who was calling for the ball before the possession, got the ball and put it in the hole. That's what you love to see. Auburn's defense been playing pretty good, though. Been very, been pestuous. Tempestuous? Pestuous? Been pest-like? Is that a word we can use? Boy, man, some of these shots have just been bad. I don't see Janai on the sideline there. Their next game is Saturday at noon against the hated Purdue Boilermakers, although they're not that hated because our guy Pipe is a Purdue fan. Poppy Clan says, in the pregame, Turtle was launching threes. I'm telling you, the guy can shoot. Now, I did note, you said he was launching him. You didn't necessarily say he was hitting him. Melee says, my take, Bruce told Janai to fake injury early to put pressure on everybody to see who steps up. That'd be cool. This would be a good game to do that. It's an unusual basketball injury, though, right? Like shoulder. I wouldn't think shoulder injuries are that common. Almost always like knees, ankles, back, wrist, maybe. Just from falling down, catching yourself. Oh, thank you for logging a like, Poppy. Appreciate you, G. Hanging out with us on a Tuesday night, watching some hoops. Some non-con hoops. We don't have too much time left, though. Conference season is going to be picking up here shortly. I was thinking earlier, man, like a month from now, we're going to be balls deep in the SEC season. Oh, that's going to be a turnover. Don't you dare do that. We'll be balls deep in the SEC season. We'll be probably, 7 games in by this point. Ephesians said he had a shoulder problem last year, the year before. I remember that. Yeah, he kind of had that. He kept wearing that brace, and I felt like he wore it a lot longer than he needed to. You know what I mean? Like, I think he left it on because it made him feel more secure that everything was going to be Gucci. Another nice steal at midcourt. This is Kai giving the ball up. That's a foul. They missed it. That's a good point, Ephesians. I've forgotten about that. I remember him having the headaches, but I don't remember him having that shoulder problem, but you're absolutely right on that one. Auburn's done nice to avoid major injury issues since Anthony had that, he broke his leg or ankle or whatever it was back, 4 years ago maybe? And I thought that team was really going to do some serious damage. Oh, a little Jamski for drop for Sertahad. Absolutely. Up to 15-7 now. I swear, guys, we haven't had a timeout. We're at the 11-minute mark here, or we're under 12, and there hasn't been any stoppage in play. It's crazy, dude. These shots, the shot quality for there's a ball out of bounds. They're gonna have to call a timeout here. The shot quality for Georgia State has been super, super bad, like super bad. Satoshi is concerned about JPP. You might have reason to be concerned about it, my man. I know what we were going to do. We were going to get got to get the stats up. That's what we got to do. Oh, we got some hot, fresh stats coming right up. All right. Coming right up. Let's kill this situation there. Caesar or Cesar Edwards? I like that name. I like the name Zarik Nutter. I like that. I like anybody that's a nutter. 15-5. The Auburn Tigers are up. What? Wait a minute. I thought they had 7. Let's see. Georgia State out-rebounding Auburn slightly. Auburn's assist to turnover is not very good, 3-3. Their 1 assist and 5 turnovers. That's real bad. Auburn shooting 6 of 13 from the floor, which is actually better than I thought. Cleveland Brown, great point, man. Talk about injuries. Losing Ukiki during March Madness hurt a lot. That was a bad one. Desperado, yeah, Broome got hurt for sure. Going up for a rebound, kind of got hooked in with the other guy's arms. And when the other guy got the rebound, he was kind of pulling the ball away to protect it from Janai, and Janai's arm kind of got caught in his arms. And he kind of like pulled on the arm, and Janai immediately grabbed it and like ran off the court. Here's probably going to show a replay right here. Oh. That was before he got hurt. This is where he gets hurt, right? No, that was where that was it right there. He just literally ran off the court. There's Janai now. I guess that's him in a hoodie. Looks like he's been crying or something. So it looks like he's got ice on his right shoulder. I mean, Janai is an introspective person anyway. Like, he's like, I don't know, I could see him kind of overthinking it or whatever, you know, where they say, all right, dude, you got to, well, they're not going to tell him anything definitive at this point, but, you know, if you've got inflammation there, whatever, we're going to need to sit you for a couple, you know, weeks or whatever. And he, you know, he wouldn't take well to it because he just feels like he's got to be out there. I don't know why the stat sheet says 15-5 and it's 15-7. I don't understand that. Yeah, I feel like a stranger says doesn't look good. WTF, I know. For real. Small Victory says, oh, fam, he's done. Guys, come on, man. Let's not get carried away with this. I know it's the bunker, but still. This is a good situation. You know, it's not good to have Janai hurt, obviously, but it's a good, you get to go basically 38 minutes without him, and you've got to figure it out. I mean, Cheney's got to find a role. Turtle's got to find a role. And Denver's going to find the bottom of the basket. Denver rolling off screens and hitting long ones. I like that. Also saw Lila on here. What's up, girl? How you doing? Cleveland Brown says, ignore me. I'm Liddy. Satoshi says he wouldn't already be back out here if it was truly serious. I don't know. Like I don't think there's anything they can do about it right now. Whatever's going on, they're going to wait for the swelling to go down before they scan it, unless it was a medical emergency, which it's clearly not. So I'm not drawing any conclusions about anything about the severity of the situation based on him being out there myself. I mean, if anything, him crying is not good. You don't like to see that. And GW is true. It's probably really good for the team not to have to rely on a Janai in case of foul trouble in a game down the road. That's a great point. There's going to be games. I mean, he's very good now. He's just gotten so good about learning how to defend without, you know, once he gets into foul trouble, he's able to adjust the way he defends so that he can stay in the game longer. Something that took Dylan a really long time, but for Janai, you know, he's come a long way with that. So he doesn't usually get into too much trouble. But I remember last year there were times when they missed a dunk. There were times last year where Auburn, where Janai got into, you know, gets 3 fouls in the first half, and you're gonna have to go 15 minutes without him. And this is what you go. This is how you learn right here. Daniel D, any rumors on who the next edge coach will be? If I were you, I would bet on somebody from the inside. I think Durkin knows who he wants for that position, and he's already on staff. It's just that's my guess. You're asking me my guess. That's what I'm telling. Scott C was 100% correct on this one. This is some ugly basketball. It is. It's very grindy. And if it weren't for Denver, really, it would be completely lacking in. Well, and now Denver just put up a brick. But prior to that brick, he was the only aesthetically pleasing part of the game so far. Auburn just kind of playing, man, and I think the defense individually has been nice. Again, I mentioned this earlier, but the shot quality for Georgia State has been bad. They're having difficulty moving the ball around. That's why they have 1 assist so far. Well, they might have more than 1 now, but no, actually they don't, because they've been free throws. Yeah, they have 1 assist so far, but they only have 4 buckets. They're 4 of 19 from the floor right now, guys. And I mean, that's not just a cold shooting night to this point. It's the shot quality's been just trash. I mean, look at Denver hounding this dude. He's got nowhere to go. Like, that's a trash shot too. He hit it. I mean, all credit to him, but man, that's a bad shot. There's Mobile alum checking in. Says, hey there, JG, enjoying your portal update videos. Thank you for watching. I appreciate that. That's just basically a Courtney thing where she's like, you need to do these videos. And I was like, you think so? And she's like, yes. So I did. And now I love them. All of them. Let's see. AU Horn says, I'm trying to text Stoop Up 74, but he's not answering. Not happy. Boy, it's weird to have a show where Stoop Up's not. Oh, that's a delicious pass from Chad Bacon Lasagna to Cheney for the flush. Drop. It's nice. Little zip pass. Chip says, yeah, I got to check out the latest vids after the game. Yes, sir. The one from yesterday, which will be episode 7, I talked about Chet a little bit. I think some people appreciated that. I've known him a long time, and like I mentioned in the video, he had gotten to Auburn just a little bit before I went through RCIA, and sorry, my stream got all weird there for a second. And he kind of helped me on my initial journey. I grew up in a non-religious household, so I had no religious background. And then I wanted to get into it, my life was changing, and I got very enthusiastic about it. And he's not Catholic, but he doesn't, I don't know, when you talk to Chet, I know some of you guys know him personally. Like, when you talk to Chet, it's not about like a denomination. It's about your relationship with God and understanding what your role is in your journey, I guess. And I sat down and talked to him for a bunch of times. His door was always open. He was enthusiastic about talking to you. And he helped me get really centered, if that makes sense. Because I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what I was trying to do. I didn't understand what I was getting into, really, if you want to put it that way. And he was a really important mentor for me at that point in my life. Kyle L says, Janai's on the bench crying. He absolutely was. So that's not good. Desperado asks, I know it's not Auburn, but have y'all been keeping up with the Caitlin Clark saga? My daughter mentioned this to me in passing, something about, I don't know. I can't say I was really paying that much attention, honestly. What's going on? Something about how she makes too much money or something like that. I don't know. God, everybody's throwing the balls off people's nuts. That's painful, guys. You could create some reproductive harm doing that. Another terrible shot, dude. The shot quality, I'm seriously, Georgia State should have scored about 6 points by now. Chad Bacon Lasagna dribbled right into a problem there. Auburn's transition to, it's going to be a goaltend. Auburn's transition defense has been so tight. They tightened it up for the UNC game, and it's been really good ever since. I mean, it's not shocking that it would be good because they're good at that usually, but they really stepped it up in that game, and I feel like it's been a huge, like an identifying factor for them. Small Victory says ESPN just said Broome will be, quote, reevaluated at halftime. Interesting. Okay, that's good. That's good. Kanuman says Chet was a great man. He will be missed. I'm not going to talk too much about this, but I just cannot imagine the loss for the players because he is so central. Him and then Jeremy Napier, who that was dirty. Drop. Jeremy Napier is he fulfills a similar role for the basketball team, like a chaplain for them, and they get so close with him and football with Chet. I mean, and Chet knew everybody, but he worked most closely with football. And, he would minister to those kids, and he helped so many kids get saved, through 20-something years. I mean, I feel like everybody's got a Chet story, and everybody has leaned on him at some point, and it's just devastating that it won't be happening anymore. But, the goal, what you got to do is you got to take the things that he told you, and you got to apply them now, which is that God's in control, and you're a vessel. Right? This is not a religious channel, but sorry, we're talking about something. Let's see. Satoshi says Amaris is coming back. Absolutely. I talked about that at the top of the show. I think this is a huge development. I have a little thing on my portal videos where I say, Auburn's grocery list, things that Auburn needs to get in the portal just in general. And it's been the same list since we started. I had it, quarterback ×2, left tackle were my top 2. Definitely had running back in there. Definitely had nose tackle in there. I had defensive tackle. Anyway, if I knew that Amaris was coming back for sure, and now we know for sure he is, DT would either be down the list or off the list, because I think he's going to be a terrific 3 technique. And I think he made plays this year, and I think he's a stud. So the fact that he's coming back, to me, that's almost like an addition in the portal, and that changed how I feel about their situation at DT. I think they're better now. Let's see. Desperado says she got a $28 million contract with Nike, but they haven't done a single commercial or shoe. The contract was back in January. She was assaulted in the WNBA numerous times without fouls. I've seen commercials with her, but you're saying they're not Nike ones, huh? I guess that's what's going on there. Ambitious Engineer says everybody's playing lazy and lackadaisical. It does seem that way without Janai. Everybody's like freaking, Might be part of it, and also might be that Georgia State's not very good, and you can tell. They can tell defensively they've got them, by the tail, so to speak. I don't know if you'd grab a Panther by the tail. That seems dangerous, but metaphorically. I'm going to go ahead and get some fresh, hot stats up for you as we continue talking about whatever comes up with Auburn. I think it's been a tremendous portal cycle for the Tigers, though. Because remember, it was kind of slow the first 3 or 4 days, and we were like, oh, boy, here we go. And then, boom, they've gotten a lot of workable solutions, particularly Jackson Arnold is a huge addition. Xavier Chaplin, huge addition. And I like Darrell Robinson at tailback. I think that's good, too. Let's see some of these other numbers here. Auburn's points per possession, which is bottom right, 1.04, not good enough. They're shooting for 1.2 or better. Georgia State is 0.69. That's terrific. Jesse says what happened to Janai. Got caught going for a rebound. Him and a Georgia State guy were going for a rebound, and they kind of got their arms locked in. Like Janai's arm went through his arm to go at the ball. The other guy got the ball and kind of pulled it away from Janai, and Janai's arm was kind of stuck in there, and it got kind of yanked. And he immediately ran off the court, like just sprinted off the court. In obvious pain. So they did say, Jesse, that they're going to reevaluate him at halftime. So I don't know if that means that maybe they're going to play him in halftime, or they're just going to see what's going on, or what. I don't really know what to say on that one. But he was seen on the sideline. He's on the bench right now. He's got a big ice pack on his right shoulder, and he appeared to be crying. But it might just be frustration. He just really wants to be out there. He's having another All-American campaign, and at this point, he's looking like the front runner for National Player of the Year. I mean, he's really good. Cheney Johnson with a drop. All right, Auburn's using its full court defense now to create a lot of opportunities. They've had 3 buckets in transition already, just from balls picked off at the 50. So here they are pressuring. There's another turnover in the full court. It was a pretty easy one, but Simo getting work done. And I think that was Cheney with another stick back right there, 29. That's what they're up to. Auburn's on a big-time push right now. They're all over these guys. Let's see. Ephesians says, Jay, what do you remember about that 2009 football season? I've heard about the season on 2 different pods today, basically saying Hugh Freeze saves his job with that type of season. Golly, I haven't thought about. I wasn't hearing those pods. This is weird how they're just staying with the crowd here in the dark. The 2009 season was an interesting one. That was, let's see, the 2008 was a total disaster when Tommy just got away from Tommy. And so they come in with Gene, and I did not like the Gene Chizik hire. But I loved the Gus Malzahn hire as a coordinator because at that time, remember, that whole offense was kind of new. Just the read option concept out of the shotgun was a new idea at that time. And Gus was as good as anybody in the country at that. And so I thought that was a really smart hire. And they just kind of they went from dog shit in 2008 to like pretty good in 2009. And then 10 was a storybook season. So yeah, I think a 2009 parallel would be good. Was that an 8-win season maybe? Something like that. They had Chris Todd playing a quarterback who probably is a lot like Peyton, honestly. They just got some breaks in 2009 that they didn't get this year. I mean, Auburn lost a lot of games that, they probably had an AWS percentage winning rate in the 70s at some point and then lost it, Let's see. T-Roy says, I remember getting up 14-0 in a bunch of our losses and then waiting until the fourth quarter to score again. It was much, much better than 2008, though. It sure was. I mean, what's weird is 2008 was bad. 2012 literally put me in the hospital. That's how bad it was. I mean, that's crazy to think that Auburn at that time, I mean, we're now in a world right now where Auburn's had 4 consecutive losing seasons, which I never thought would ever happen. So we're living in strange times, but I got to get these scores. I'm babbling with you guys so much, which I enjoy doing. Courtney's at Bunko tonight, by the way. Hope she comes home with some money. That'd be great. I don't know if your wives play Bunko. It's basically social hour for the gals, and they like roll dice and shit. I don't know. Never seen it. Runner 24 said, did not have Chris Todd on today's bingo card. Great guy to talk to, man. And I loved asking him about his cat. If you remember, that was a big Bunker legend, urban legend. And I asked him about it, and there was more than a kernel of truth to the story, which was somebody had spied him like hanging out with his cat or whatever. It wasn't actually his cat. It was Tahad with a splash. It wasn't actually his cat. It was his neighbor's cat. But he had kind of taken a liking to it, and he was asked to go take care of the cat or something, and so he was going in there and just playing with the cat and took the cat outside a little bit and just kind of walking around with it. So he acknowledged that he had an affinity for the cat, but it wasn't his. Look at this defense, man. I mean, these guys have nowhere to go, bro. That's another just difficult shot. I mean, he hits it. Yeah, but Chris Todd and Ben Lear, there's two quarterbacks that had a really good sense of humor about just stuff in general. I used to ask, I don't even know if this would be funny anymore, but back when Ben Lear was quarterback, I used to, remember he got concussions all the time, and I'd ask him dude, how bad did this concussion hurt, And it got to be a joke between me and him about the concussions, which I don't even know if you joke about that now, but back then you didn't necessarily see them as nefarious as they are now, but Chris, you could joke with him about stuff too. He was funny, man. Sometimes you get guys like Chris Todd and Ben that are just, they're good guys that are just having fun and enjoying the experience of playing college football. And then you get other guys sometimes that get a little ponderous. Peyton definitely is one. Sometimes I feel like people on the Bunker get so mad about, he had a season that could have been better. I mean, I'm not trying to say that, but Peyton's a good dude. You guys would love hanging out with Peyton. I don't really go out and party with him or anything, but just interviewing him and talking to him in the complex, just on a regular Tuesday or whatever. He's a good dude, man, and he's funny. He has a Bunker sense of humor. He would be a Bunker member for sure. God, man, this is just grinded out basketball here. Yikes. This is the equivalent of a 6-3 football game. That's the shot quality is so bad. Oh God. I love that. I was like, do that. He faked the three, Tahad did, and then he shot a really quick alley-oop that Cheney couldn't quite handle, but Chad Bacon Lasagna got the corralled the rebound, the carom, as some would say, and put it back in for an easy deuce. I like that dude right there. He goes, I'm just tired of trying to get a good shot, so I'm just going to shoot a three from 25 feet and see what happens. And he hit it. Might as well. Ephesians says, or 3-2. Yeah, that game was the same thing. I was there for that barn burner. 3-2 at Mississippi State. Walt McFadden after that game was just like, oh my God. Tell me it'll never get worse than this. Another steal at the 50, man. Oh, that was a sweet little move from Tahad. Drop. Sweet finish, man. An up and under reverse. Ravin's ready to get A.D. Scott in the game. Darren's a badass. Plays hard, man. Look, there's another steal at the 50. These guys are getting picked off so bad. Auburn just gave one up, though. There's that sloppiness again. That's the second or third one that Auburn's given up at the 50, too. Desperado wants a clarification. Is it Chad baking lasagna or is it Chad bacon lasagna? For me, it's bacon lasagna. And I got that because my estate attorney, he just called him that on first reference. He was like, hey, man, what do you think about Chad bacon lasagna? I was like, what? I'd never heard that one. But it really grew on me. I like that. Let me get some fresh, hot stats for you guys. We're just talking tonight. We're just having fun, just babbling about Auburn stuff. I'm not staying as on topic as I normally do. All right, we're going to clear these stats and put up the fresh new ones. Fresh. All right, there they are. Let's see, assist to turnovers. 1 assist still for them. 1 assist, guys, and 5 turnovers. Auburn's got 6 assists and 5 turnovers. 5 is just too much. 6 assists, only 9 buckets for Auburn. How about that? 9 of 20 is a good percentage, but they're -5 on field goals attempted, which is very unusual. They usually outshoot people. 1 of 6 from 3 for them. 2 of 8 for Auburn. The rebounding differential, they're still +1, but it's closer than it was. Fouls are about even. So this just kind of looks like a 6-0 Auburn's got an advantage in fast break points. 6 points off turnovers, which surprises me. I feel like they should have had like 12 of those. Daniel D says, we will need Broome for Purdue. Yeah, I'd love to get a little bit more clarification on what is going on there. That's the big story from tonight, I think, so far. I mean, it may just be the whole one, because Auburn's... Wait, did I give you guys the wrong stats or something? What the hell? I guess Auburn's stats are like way behind or something. $38.26 is what I'm seeing. And then I go to the box. Yeah, okay, there we go. That's probably my error. I don't know what's going on with me. All right, here we go, guys. Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on. Auburn still, these are the fresh, hot stats, but these are still got some weird numbers here. You're still -1 on shots attempted. I mean, 15 of 31 from the floor is not bad. 1.18 per possession for Auburn, which is you're creeping up a little bit from where they were. 8 assists, 6 turnovers is not good enough. 8 assists for Auburn on 15 buckets is not good enough. It's not what you normally see from them. And -3 rebounding, they're not going to be happy with that. They have 2 assists and 10 turnovers, which is good for Auburn. John D says Jay losing focus like the team. My man. To be fair, I got that video out about I don't know, it's probably been 90 minutes now. And then we also had a dude working here at the house to try to fix an issue we were having. So been kind of multitasking tonight a little bit. My wife's at Bunko, my daughter's out at dinner, so got a lot of stuff going on. Let's see. Melee says this game is like drinking a handle of Old Crow. Wow, suspiciously specific there, Melee. I mean, it's still technically bourbon. Desperado says the team is probably worried about Janai. He's on the bench if anybody wants to ask him a question. 28-38 is what we're looking at here. Defensively, Auburn's gotten the job done for sure. Attacking-wise, not as good. They probably came into this game expecting to have Janai just kind of roll as he often does, or always does. Great big boy rebound from Cheney. And then he gets it stolen away from him, but Turtle puts it back in for a deuce. 40-28. Boy, Miles Kelly's giving them so much trouble up at that point right now. Fighting through that screen right there, too. That was a nice machination, to be fair. That's just a pick-and-roll roller. But the roller goes short and hits a three. Anthony McLemore used to use that. I've referenced him twice tonight. Turtle was thinking about a three right there, but I think he knew that they were going to make fun of him if he missed it. So he passed it back down into Cheney, who got the hoop and the harm, so he's going to be at the line here. Let's see what Chip's saying here. Oh, look at that. He's got his pussy watching the game. My pussy's not feeling good right now. I think my pussy has a UTI. I got to take Herschel to the, well, I don't know if it's going to be me, but somebody's going to take Herschel to the vet tomorrow. He just ain't acting himself. Kanuman says, can we get Coach Sonny at half? Man, I wish. GW says, I'm losing focus because I'm dreaming of Mac Jones being the Raiders quarterback next year. Do I have a boo sound? I do, yeah. Hell no. Cheney did hit his free throw. I'm giving him full credit. Big rebound right there from Sir Turtle. He's been playing pretty decently. Cheney's been the best player tonight, I think. Denver's been the second best. Todd's been good, too. Those three. I don't understand what that shot was from Miles Kelly. They could have worked for a better shot than that, I think. But that's going to be halftime, 43-31. Janai was in a blue hoodie earlier, and I didn't know if there he is. Okay, he was on the very, very end of the bench. Trying to discern any clues about his situation there based on how he was walking off, but there wasn't really much to get on that one. Let me get some hot, fresh stats from the halftime intermission. Uh-oh. Let me get that from the halftime intermission, and we can chat about it. Indeed. Indubitably. Thank you for the thumbs up, whoever just offered one. It's appreciated. I've been a little off my game tonight. I don't know why. I've been portaling and videoing and other things today. I don't know. All right, there he is. Georgia State, 31, Auburn 43. Again, for those of you who are just kind of jumping in, Janai got hurt in his first shift of the night. He only got 2 minutes in. And Shane jumping in with us. Super chat. Appreciate that, brother. He says, any word on Broome? Not yet. Just saw him, on the sideline there. And with the big ice pack, like the Gabe Gross style ice pack. If you guys remember when he used to play quarterback at Auburn. and that's all we got. ESPN, apparently on ESPN, they said they're going to reevaluate him at halftime. He don't look like he's going to be playing tonight, so I would just go ahead and assume he's going to be out. But the fact that they would even consider maybe thinking about it, maybe it's not too bad. Mobile alum asked me, how you doing? Hanging in there one day at a time, young lady. Appreciate you asking and hanging out with us here tonight. Ephesians says that Michael Penix has been named the starter for Atlanta. We talked earlier about how Kirk Cousins was kind of ass last night, and I think I don't watch the Falcons at all, but my friends that are Falcons fans seem to kind of think that indeed he's been asked this year, so that's a lot of money they put into him. And Chip jumping in to mention the fact that he's not in a sling. Big ice wrap and probably a brace under all that. If he was in a sling, it would have to be on the outside. He's kind of using his hoodie as a sling, but you're right, it's not a real sling. Sean B says, what does reevaluation at halftime mean? Our interpretation was that they would consider whether he could perform in the second half. That was the way I interpreted it. I did not hear it because I'm on here with the show, so I didn't hear it, but I don't know if that's what Joe Champy was saying or whatever. Anyway, some more numbers. Looking at some of these numbers. Auburn's plus 10 in points off turnovers, which is a terrific number. Auburn's plus, well, they're double on points in the paint, although that's not really Georgia State's gig. Second chance points surprised me a little bit that Auburn would be losing that battle. It seems like Auburn's had a bunch of those. Fast break is plus 10 for the Auburn Tigers. Hey, I know that dude. What up, G? I like it when they show fans in there just kind of hanging out. These are probably folks that are up pretty high. They're not expecting to be put on TV. Let's see. Cleveland Brown says too much money for Kirk. He's not even worth half of his guarantee. Yeah, you know who else is saying that? Saints fans are saying that about Derek Carr. They're $200 million on the hook minimum for his ass. And now he's hurt, and he really wasn't very good before that. As a Raiders guy, I hated seeing him leave, but I just didn't want to pay him what he was going to want. He was won $250 million from us. I was like, he's not that good. And apparently the Saints were more than happy to pay a guaranteed $200 million for him, whatever. If that's what you want to do. Let's see. Ephesians says, Jay, you've probably already given your opinion a bunch on this, but who's your national champion for college football playoff and who's in the Natty game? I haven't done it. I'm glad that Coach Champy is picking this, though. I mean, nobody watches more college football than Joe Champy. And is it JJ doing the show with him? That's great. I really like JJ until I learned that he's a Dookie. And I was like, nah, I'm good. Chip says, how much for Carr? So the number that they were trying to throw at us was that it was going to have to be $250 million guaranteed. So we told him to pound sand and benched him. And then he left and he went to the Saints. And I think he's on like a $250 million deal, but it's $200 guaranteed. Like, he could not play another snap and they owe him $200 million. And I was like, oh my God. I feel for you Saints fans because that's ridiculous. He's not that good. Other things going on here. They shot 32% from the floor. Auburn shot 49% from the floor, which is terrific. Auburn's 2-point percentage is something astronomical here. 21 and 14 of 21. So what's that? 67%? Something like that. From two. That's crazy. Blake, my man. We got a sound for Blake. Blake needs his own sound. We'll just get him the beat because I love beat so much.
Yeah, on Monday, I won't make it on Monday because I got someone calls on Monday.
We're so glad to have you here, Blake. What's up, bro? Daniel D says Antonio Kite is going to Ole Miss. That's another one, man. Like, I think the people who know Spooty want to see Spooty play well. And he's a very talented player. But he just doesn't get in gear mentally enough. He dogs it too much, and he doesn't work hard in practice, and he's just that guy. You know what I mean? And you keep hoping he's going to mature to the point that, it clicks. we weren't, all of us talking here on the chat, guys and gals, we weren't finished products at 19 or 20, and so I try not to judge them as that, right? But you got to go to practice. I mean, you got to go to practice, and when, Coach Freeze or Coach Crime says, hey, man, you got to be here at 2:30 and get your stuff ready because we're going to start at 3:30 or whatever, you got to fucking be there at 2:30. You got to. It's just life. And they got to a point where, he continually didn't show up when he was supposed to, and they had to let him go. So we'll see if Ole Miss can get him straightened out on that. Let's see. Jay Kelly says, hey, we lost out on Poyser. Man, I didn't know that. Zechariah Poyser is my favorite player that Auburn's been courting in the portal. So he's terrific. And, yeah, that's a loss. I thought he would be like a tremendous free safety, like a big upgrade on what Jaron Thompson was this year. But I like what they have in Caleb Harris. Boy, JJ looks older to me than I remember him. I mean, we're all getting a day older at a time, but he's wearing his Duke tie, goober. And I love Joe Champy, man. Joe loves him some Joe, but I just really enjoy talking to him, and I've known him since the 90s. I covered UK girls basketball in the 90s, and interviewed him a few times because I was learning how to interview people, and he was a tough guy to interview at the time, but he actually was he's just kind of crotchety, but he's awesome. I love him. Daniel D says, oh, Satoshi said, I thought J.J. Jackson was a female announcer. No, he's just a short guy. He's just a little, not little person, you know what I mean? But he's just a narrow, short, thin person. And I think those guys, a horse jockey, have those funky voices kind of. I think that's kind of what's going on with him, maybe. Look how happy BP is. Look at him. It's because BP promised Janai's parents that he would get him on that stage and say he's going to be a college graduate. And he promises people that, you know what I mean? And it matters to him. That matters to him. You got to always remember, people forget that Bruce Pearl came up. He learned this trade under Dr. Tom Davis at Boston College and then Iowa as well. And Tom Davis is a PhD in education, and he kind of oriented BP in a way, when you coach about here's the way you've got to do this shit. And BP's always had a very strong affinity for getting his kids graduated. It's very important to him. And I think when he's on his deathbed and he's old and tired a long time from now, I think he's going to look back and not give a shit about wins and losses. He's going to think about all the kids that he got across the graduation stage and who got jobs and who have families and who they provide for, and that's going to make him really happy. So that's the deal right there. Let's see. Don says his stream is pretty wonky. Well, that's what happens when you're in Maastricht, Holland. You're a long way. Hell, it's 2 a.m. there, isn't it? I'm trained only for this game. We're glad to have you here, Don. You're royalty in more ways than one. Our Stu's asking about Janai's injury. We don't know yet. Anecdotal evidence, our Stu suggests that it's not super bad. It's shoulder. It's right shoulder for sure. He kind of got hung with another player while he's going for a rebound, and he literally sprinted off the court and hasn't been back. But he's back on the sideline wearing a hoodie and a big-ass ice pack on his right shoulder. Chip says, did that walk just a few years ago. Got an Auburn diploma signed by Stephen Leith. My man. I'm glad he didn't crash while he was writing on his name on there. Scott C. says he'll be thinking of that Virginia game on his deathbed. I really don't think he will. Even though it could be something that he still thinks about sometimes. You'd have to ask him about that. I don't know. Sean B. says, I legit thought this game was being called by a female announcer. Bruce Pearl is all the daddy you need. I like that name. It's so great that he cares about things like the kids graduating. It seems small, but that is a huge accomplishment that many players wish they had stayed and did that. That's true. I mean, dude, he's already proven his coaching, There's no questioning about his ability to coach a basketball team, to win basketball games, and to have a good eye for talent. He's great at that. But he's also really, I think he cares as much about that as he does getting kids across the stage. It's really, really a passion of his. Daniel D says he probably won't play the rest of the night, not talking about BP, talking about Janai. I mean, I'd be shocked if he played. Let's see. KD has played 30 minutes at Duke with 0 fouls. What the hell has gotten into our boy? Yeah, he's come a long way, hasn't he? He was a foul machine, wasn't he, back in the day? They're getting killed, but what is this, man? Why can I not? Cheney Johnson has 6 points, 2 rebounds, and 5 assists. That's pretty good. But they're getting killed. They're down 20. Oh, well, the game's almost over. That's not that bad. They had 16 points in the first half. George Mason did. Oops. You don't necessarily need that many points to win, I guess. You just win. You score 4, hold them to 3, you're good. Kanuman had a super chat that I just kept talking over, which is not very cool of me. He says, come on, everyone, smash it. He is not talking about Natty Lights. He is not talking about Bud Ice. He's talking about the like button, the thumbs up button. He would like to see people jump in there and enthusiastically show support for the channel by giving it a thumbs up. Thank you for that, sir. Kanuman, of course, one of my heroes. He's living the life I wish that I could live. And yet I'm just stuck here as a homebody. He gets to go out and see the world because he's a badass, and the world wants to see him. Jackson says, do we beat Purdue without Janai? Let's just, we'll cross that bridge when we find it. Another day to make my stand. Oh, whoa. Duran for you. We'll see. They're down a player too, so Kanuman said it would please me greatly. Now, Poppy Clint says, I wonder how many Tukey's is KD mean mugged. I wonder if, senior year KD is if he's kind of softened up a little bit, like high fives with Dookies and stuff. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm thinking out loud here. Kanuman says, the world asks that I cover my face when doing such. Oh, man. Living the absolute life, bro. The case for number 1. I know who JJ's going to want to be number 1. It's going to be the Auburn Tigers, and I know who Coach Joe Champy's going to want. I love his Italian-American flag there, too. Yeah, I went to practice maybe, it's probably been 3 weeks now, and the first people I see, it's Coach Sonny and Joe sitting there. Love it when those two are together because you're getting best of both worlds. You're getting Sonny is just story time. And Joe is also story time, but he also kind of picks on you a little bit. Like Joe's got more of an edge on him than Coach Sonny does. Sonny's just nice. And I like them both. Joe makes me laugh with the things he says. So funny. All right, Blake. Jumping in with a super chat, our man on the East Coast, him and Runner 24 are the czars of the East Coast. There is no equal. He says, I just gots to super chat when I'm on here on a Heaven Hill bottle and bond kick this holiday season. What a wonderful choice. Drinking again tonight. They had the allocation here the other day, Blake, and although I was not pulled and I was not going to camp out, I went over there at 2 o'clock in the afternoon just to see what's up, what people had missed or picked over or whatever. So I got myself an Eagle Rare for $32, which is Eagle Rare at $32 is a buy every day. When it gets above 55, that's when it's anyway, 32. That was an ABC store pick. It'll probably taste like gas. Also got I got a Bomburgers, which was still there. I couldn't believe it. Bomburgers is like the I think of it as the upper level, like the Lexus version of Michter's. And like Michter's, it's a little light, but it tastes good. I don't know if I'll buy it again at the price that it was at. I think it was like $100. But I don't know. I'm glad I got it. We got a Silver Oak Bardstown Bourbon Company. It's like the black label with the silver crest on it. It looks really dark in the bottle. I'm looking forward to drinking that. By the way, we're in the second half now. And we got some other goofy bottle that's not a big deal. I don't remember what it was. I'm going to go ahead and change this. It still says 7 o'clock. I mean, the game did start at 7, I guess. Go ahead and put that to second half there. And they opened the second half with a 3. To add a little bit of intrigue here, they're within 10 points, inside of 10 now. Knuman says, is it smooth like Michter's? It is. I am not a Michter's fan because I think it's too light. But smooth is, yes, it's definitely smooth. It's called Bombergers, Bombergers. And, yeah, it's good. If it was like $60 a bottle, I would drink it, like, often. But at the allocation, it was like 100, and that means in real life it's probably 200, and it ain't worth that. We got a 4th bottle. I just don't remember what it is. It wasn't anything crazy. That Bombergers was like the big thing. They did have Willet there. They had the Willet purple top, the black bottom purple top. But the thing is that Willet sells that stuff at like inflated retail now to try to fight back against the secondary people. And so it's like $300 a bottle, and it's not worth that. I think that's a $100 bottle that they're parading around at $330. I'm not doing that. Bo is great, says that Blake sells drones in New Jersey. And business is good. It's so odd to me that the government, Trump and his team are like, we're going to get to the bottom of this. And I'm like, you can get to the bottom of it if you like. It's just planes and shit. Like, I don't know that anybody who's like really into UFOs and aviation think this is like a thing. It's just drones and planes and shit. Like, this is not UFOs. What a nice little split move there by Chad Bacon Lasagna on the drive. That was sweet. I don't know as though a lot of people would have even tried that move right there to try to split defenders coming 100 miles an hour down the hill, but he said, hell with it. I'll do it. I'm thin enough to be able to just zip through this hole. Sean B asks if Broome back on the bench for the second half or did he stay in the locker room? He is back on the bench. And it looked to me like he was moving his arm a little bit better. But he ain't playing. Look at Chad Bacon Lasagna high-fiving everybody coming back on the court. What a stud, man. He just has a joie de vivre. You love to see it. Stu Pup, who was referenced earlier, he said missed a lot while watching Rudolph. My man. He's got his priorities in order. That's what you love to see about it. You just saw Janai get hurt. Well, you didn't just see it. If you were watching, it would have been a while ago. But, right shoulder. Kind of got caught in a rebound, and then the other guy was kind of pulling the ball away from him to defend him, to kind of protect the ball from him. And in that twist, he kind of pulled Janai's arm and injured him. There was certainly no malice in it at all. Denver with a splash. Denver's he's been pretty accurate today. He is now 3 of 4 from 3. That's pretty good. Cardwell has not been playing as much either. I didn't see him get hurt. Only played 6 minutes in the first half without any foul trouble. Oh, no, he had 3 fouls. That's what it was. I remember he picked up the one early. I forgot the other 2. I've been babbling a lot today. That's probably what it is. Miles Kelly, a lot of guys would have gone up there and just defamed them with a dunk. He says, no. I'm just going to lightly lay it in. It's still 2 points either way. 9-0 run, just like that. Georgia State coach looks like Darvin Ham. Interesting. Oh, man, this is the kind of, we talked about this in the last game, man. Like, Auburn will kind of hang with you and play okay, and then bang, they'll hit you like for 10 points in like a minute and a half. They do this against everybody. Did it against Duke. Oh, Ephesians, yes, I'm sorry. I did want to say, somebody said that Broome's in a sling, and I thought Chip had a good point earlier. He said if he's in a sling, it's hard to get in a hoodie because the sling would have to be over the hoodie. And so I don't know that he's in a sling. But he's definitely keeping his arm more or less immobile, kind of on his own, you know. Stoop Up says, wait, I got mentioned earlier. You did, sir. I think one of your homies had said that he'd been texting you or calling you and didn't get through to you, figured you were doing something, which we now know what you were doing, and that he was surprised that you weren't here on the show. You are missed when you're not here, sir, and that's a compliment to you. Might be the greatest compliment. AU Taxman, who is also a Samford fan in addition to being an ardent Auburn supporter, says, y'all be sure to pull for Samford against the hated Arizona Wildcats tomorrow night. I noticed that Arizona's not as good as they've been. So I don't know what the story is with that. I don't pay attention to them since Steve Kerr left. But, you know, that's been, 40 years? I used to love Arizona. Long time ago. Let's see. Can you cue up some Ray Hudson sound bites? I think I can. Maybe. I think I can. Is this one right here? Will this one work for you?
You could drop a tarantula into his shorts and he'll still be cool.
Bo Knows, the same here, Taxman. My daughter goes to Samford. Look at that. Bo Knows, badass. We love Bo Knows. Good bunk. Long time bunk. Been around a long time. Contributing for a long time. Chip says, did he come back out in the hoodie? Yeah, he did. I can't imagine they don't have him in a sling now. May not have been able to with the ice pack. Yeah, he was. Last time I saw him was coming back out from halftime, and he still had that blue hoodie on. AU Taxman says, Khalid Reeves ain't walking through that door, fans. Man, the Patino, it's the great. It's one of my all-time favorite. I'm a man. I'm 40, and practice. We ain't talking about practice, man. Those are the two greatest sports rants ever. But ain't walking through that door. For me, in my own personal life, and with Courtney, the way we joke about stuff, that's the best one that's ever happened. Larry Bird is not walking through that door, fans. Kevin McHale is not walking through that door, and Robert Parrish is not walking through that door. And if they do, they're going to be gray and old. It's so good, man. Small Victory says T-shirt and a sling now. Actively talking with team. Okay, very good. I appreciate the update on that. So he has tossed aside the baby blue hoodie with the old school Auburn, logo on it, and is now in a T-shirt. All right. Hayden Bede. So that would be in the top 10, talking about we need more dogs. I don't need cats. I need dogs. That old Coastal Carolina coach. That was a good one. Talk about had a hole in the screen. That was pretty good. That would be top 10, I think. Playoffs is another good one from Jim Morris Sr. That's a good one. Yeah, that was good. The Bears who they thought they were. The Bears are who we thought they were. I have that one on here. Well, here, I have a lot of these. Hold on, I have this one.
Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40.
I love that one.
The Bears are who we thought they were. And that's why we took the damn field. If you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
Runner 24 says Bird, McHale, Parrish would have still helped those Patino teams for sure. He goes to the NBA and he's like, hey, man, I got an idea. So everybody's playing like quarter court defense and just kind of taking it easy. We're going to go in the NBA. We're going to full court press with 30-year-old guys who don't want to do that. And everything's going to be great. And like it went about the way you thought it would. Basically, it was a rebellion from start to finish. And it just didn't work out. I think Rick's chilled out, though. I had a chance. That was the first coach I ever covered. You know that. 1996 at UK. They're like, hey, man, why don't you go write some sidebars for basketball coverage? I was like, really? Okay. And it was Pitino. Let's see. Satoshi says Janai just got grabbed by Doc Goodlet, and he's headed back to the locker room. Okay. Satoshi says Justin Ferguson said Janai was giving thumbs up to fans behind the bench, probably with his right hand, but still. Cleveland Brown says it's amazing how Gundy still has a job at Oklahoma State. By other standards, we would have been fired more than not. Oh, for sure. They had a really bad season this year, but he's been there. First of all, he's been there so long. And they've been good, and he played quarterback there, and so he's quarterback at Oklahoma State from like maybe 87 to 90-ish, somewhere in that range. And prior to that, Oklahoma was so good, and they would just flatten Oklahoma State. But then they got Gundy, who was like a better version of Peyton Thorne with the mullet. And then they had Thurman Thomas and Barry Sanders and Keith Limerick playing fullback, and all of a sudden they got intriguing, And I think for Auburn fans, Auburn fans are very fortunate in that when Auburn was coming back from that time when Alabama was so dominant in the 70s, right? And Dye gets here from East Carolina or Wyoming, and he is building this team, right? You're so fortunate to get Bo Jackson to be they're one of the greatest college football players ever, one of the greatest athletes, one of the greatest American athletes ever. And he leads your resurgence, right? It's best case scenario. For Oklahoma State, it was Barry Sanders and Thurman Thomas and Mike Gundy. He brought them back, from being Oklahoma's dog bowl. I read that big, long story they had in the Athletic about Mike Gundy and how he goes and does his radio show at a nursing home or like an independent living facility, I guess is a more appropriate term. And he just he just takes calls and he just lets it rip. And I love that, man. I think he's hilarious. I love Mike Gundy. Yes, runner 24, Hartley Dykes absolutely was playing wideout for them too. Ended up going to the Patriots when the Patriots were really bad. It was before, way before Belichick, before Parcells, and before Pete Carroll too. They were super bad. And all they had was Hartley Dykes, and he had that towel on that he used to wear in the back that said bye-bye on it. Yes, sir, I'm just out here babbling. This game's just kind of grindy, you know what I mean? Ephesians says, have you ever heard about the reporter who asked the Baylor player, how does Yale out-rebound Baylor? And Baylor goes on to describe what a rebound is and says they got more of them than we did. I have seen that one. That was good. That was on the player. The player made that one work. If you want to talk about another good blow-up, I don't know if you guys remember this because this is a long time ago and it was college basketball at a time and Auburn wasn't very good, but the beat writers at UConn had this game. They had Ryan Gomes, who used to play a long time ago, wanted to play at UConn, and Jim Calhoun, who was the coach at the time, was like, no, he's not good enough to play at UConn. This is when UConn was really good. So he goes to Providence, and he balls out, and he kicks UConn's ass every time he plays them. He scores 25 and 10, and he's just a badass. And so the UConn writers were like, all right, we're going to put money in, and whoever can get, I don't know if there's money involved. I should take it back. Who's going to be able to get him to blow up over Ryan Gomes? And so they would ask him these leading questions every time Ryan Gomes would shit on him. And he finally freaked out one time, was like, okay, I've got Emeka Okafor, all right? He's pretty good. No, I didn't take Ryan Gomes. It took him 12 months to sell the kid to Providence. It was really funny. Look it up on YouTube, Ephesians. It's really funny. Look, Jim Calhoun, Ryan Gomes freak out or something. It will come up. Sorry, guys. I'm just babbling too much. Runner 24 says Hartley Dykes unfortunately had his career cut short due to a bar fight. I didn't know that. Broken glass to the eye. Damn, that sucks. Let's see. Matt says his first memory of the Patriots is the quarterback that wore the neck roll. That might have been Steve Grogan. I'm not sure how far back it goes on that. I do think Steve Grogan wore neck roll. Poppy Clan, John Cheney talking about how he was going to kill Calipari at UMass. That's absolutely true. I love John Cheney. I met John Cheney twice. Here in Montgomery. He was best friends with Ben Jobe, who lived here in town, and he knew how much I loved John Cheney. So when Cheney would come see him, he'd be like, call me up. Come over here and see him. Like, hell yeah. That guy's like a hero to me. John Cheney's just such a stud. Speaking of stud, Cheney is balling tonight, like big time. It's so good to see him getting confident. You know, remember last year we kept thinking Cheney was going to be awesome, and he had his moments, but I think he just lacked confidence. And I think for him making the adjustment from UAH to Auburn, I think it got in his head a little bit. And you don't see that as much anymore. You don't see it hardly at all anymore. He does have games where he has foul trouble, but as long as he's not in foul trouble. Oh, Dylan.
Drop.
Nice second effort from Dylan there to get that jammy, slam. 60-40. Updating me, thank you, GW. The Thunder America's team are up 2 on the Bucks in the finals of the NBA Cup. Small Victory says Cardwell double-handed slams make him smile, as they should. R. Stu says, JGT, I haven't seen a guy improve that much from year to year like Cheney has done. Yeah, he is. He's like a workout warrior. Like, he's just like always trying to be like more fit and work harder. And he's like the easiest guy to coach. Like, he just cares and he's friendly and he's in a good mood all the time. And he's very accountable and he wants to be better. I mean, he's just like a dream to coach, but he's also good, you know? A lot of times those guys are like, you know, like Simo's that way, but he's kind of okay. But Cheney's good. I think Janai's easy to coach too, honestly. Let's see. Sean B wants to know if that stat sheet is correct. So it's a little outdated. I need to get you an updated one. Let me get that. I'm out here just babbling. We're just talking on a Tuesday, you know what I mean? Let me get you the proper numbers here. All right. Hot, fresh stats. Up for you, my man. So this is just from a moment ago. In fact, my TV, Georgia State has 40 points on my TV. I'm using some super duper janky Vizio. It cost me like $20 in a back alley. But Pegues, 0 minutes so far. He's not injured. You know how it is. I mean, he's had these games where he just looks lost out there. And we were talking on the bunker earlier today. There's some questions about JPP, and I was like, I think he's a lost cause, guys. I don't think it's going to happen. And it's not a big deal in the sense, I mean, it's a big deal for him, but, you know, Auburn's got Tahad, Auburn's got Denver, who's been playing great, so they're good. Sausage Broker, evening, gents. Any way we can get Bruce post-game live? We cannot. Unfortunately for me, that would be even if they don't broadcast it, the Auburn Sports Network, and that's not related to me, that's the university's arm. They have the rights to that. I can't do it. Yeah, Tim, it is. I mean, I just don't think he's getting going. Like, he's lost confidence. The lack of extreme regimentation in the way that they operate the offense at Auburn, I think, gets under his skin. Like, he's not mad about it. He's not like bitching about it. He's just not comfortable with it, and I think it affects his ability or inability to keep things going and really run the offense. Desperado says he's a big disappointment. I mean, I'm sure he feels the same way. He is an easy guy to coach, so he's not like some drama queen being a dick. He's just not getting in rhythm. He's not catching on, you know. But it ain't over, and he's an older guy, and we know he can play. I mean, he was the player of the year in this league last year. He can do things, but he's got to learn how Auburn, you know, runs things. Chip says, still need to try to get BP to call into a post-football brain drain. That's actually a great idea. I think we could probably pull that off. Yeah, I think we could pull that off. I think I could get Tommy on here. I think that Tommy, if I said, hey, man, just one time when they beat Alabama, can I get you on the air? I bet you Tommy would do it. I don't know if you guys would care, but I would just because I, went round and round with him for years. Have a great relationship with him. Let's see. Sausage Broker said, will BMAT, Caleb, or Henri be there? Caleb will not be. BMAT, no, I think Stoltze. I'm not sure. BMAT or Stoltze, one of the two. They were somebody I think was going to go do something tonight. I just can't remember who it was. But Henri is definitely going to be there. Stu Pup says JPP sucking going to be a bigger deal if Broome is out for a while. Broome initiating the offense alleviates the need for a true point guard. Welcome, Senator. It is Senator Tommy Tuberville on the line now. Well, AJ, young coach. That's the first thing he'll say, I guarantee it. T-Roy says Jennifer Hudson in leather pants. I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm intrigued. I think I'll be able to get BP on a brain drain next year. We'll make that a thing we're pushing for. Yeah, I think we can get it done. I need to ask those guys that just guys I've covered and guys I've known. I need to ask them more to be on the show. I'm sure they wouldn't mind jumping on every now and then, just like former players, guys you never hear from. It's like Timmy Duckworth or Engel or Brett Edens or Nick Marshall or Sen Marks, Patrick Lee. I do all that. All those guys are great. Mark Brown was great. Too much passing, man. Auburn, they just totally gave Auburn a chance to. They should have had a break layup here. Georgia State should have just dilly-dallying around the bucket and gave Auburn every opportunity to. Oh my goodness, every opportunity to actually get numbers back and stop the break, and Auburn did. Yeah, Daniel, I'm probably not going to be Harsin since he blocked me on Twitter, and all I did was remind him that he lost to Georgia 49-21 or whatever. He's like mocking Hugh for having lost to Georgia. I'm like, bro, you couldn't do it either. So shut your ass. Hey, stop crying. What a turd. Ask Harsin so we can fire him again. Poppy Clan's pulling for Teapot Brown. Yeah, Ben Leard, I have to. Yeah. He does like radio and stuff though, right? I didn't say Ben just because I figured he was already like a personality in the Auburn Opelika area, like on the radio or whatever. I think Brandon Cox would probably come on for me, even though we kind of went back and forth when he was a player and I was a reporter. But I've seen him a few times since then, and it's fine. It's all good. Shane says we need Bob Chubb for the basketball drains. See, I didn't know Rob at all. I didn't know him at all. So I would have a hard time getting him on the air. Now, Kenny G, who was playing with Rob Chubb at the time, Mr. Triple Double, I should say, we might be able to get him on. I've been really trying to get Mac McGadney. I was waiting on Chucky to get back with me because I'm sure he's got Mac's number. But my man Chucky, he went on like an overseas trip, and I think he's still on it, so he's not checking Facebook right now. But hopefully when Chucky gets back, I'll be able to get up with Mac or somebody like that and try to get them to, see if they'd be interested in calling in. Or we'll find somebody. Yes, Satoshi says, did you all see Harsin wearing the Lank shirt after the Iron Bowl? We did. We thought it was on brand for that guy. Starnes, what's up, bro? Glad to see Starnes is a legend. Starnes was a student assistant at Auburn back in the day when they were putting out some players, man. Like, think about all the people that Starnes worked with, like Barrett, Ben, Cooper, Adam, of course, Megan. Legends, man. Rodney Creighton is a suggestion. I liked Rodney Creighton. I haven't really seen him in a long time, though. Let's see. Sean B says Harsin is really high on Holden. Wonder if Cal will extend him an offer. Beppo, what's up, bro? He says he's in the house. Glad to have you here, Beppo. Here on a Tuesday night, doing a little basketball draining. Auburn's been just kind of like in a semi-neutral state with Janai out, but they had a couple really good runs, one in the first half and then here one in the second half. It was like a 10-0 or 12-0 run that popped really fast, and that's been the difference tonight. Statistically, Auburn's doing some okay things. Huge advantage in points off turnovers, plus 22 on that end. Assist to turnovers definitely taking a step forward from earlier. 13 assists to 7 turnovers now. They have 4 assists on 16 buckets, 4 assists and 16 turnovers for them. BP's going to be satisfied with that number for sure. 10 steals for the Auburn Tigers, which is terrific. Let's see. AU Texan says Harsin will fit in at Cal since neither care about winning football games. Clement says John Starnes was at Cameron Indoor. My man. That's great. I'm glad you guys got to go to that. That's a great opportunity there. I have never been. At this point in my life, I've hated them so long, I don't think I'd even want to go. But I respect the heck out of you guys for having gone. Turtle passed up another 3 there, guys. He really is learning. Look at Kai passing the ball. Oh, I should have gotten an assist on that one. Damn. Let's see. Don Properdick wants to know if I could bring in Jake Holland. I like Jake Holland. Real Deal's going to show up. My man, Real Deal got some people very upset on the bunker this morning because he wrote a thread that says Cam Coleman going to the portal. And then is the body of the thread, it said, I don't know. It was like, it seems satirical. But some people got all mad. It got reported. People were like, it's Jay's fault for letting this crap stay on the board. And then I gave it a tag that says satire, and I think everybody calmed down. But they are still mad at Real Deal and want to beat his ass, I think. He says, I'm here for the rumors, JG. You know what's up. Jake Holland would probably not go over real well with the populace. I know you guys are the most rational subset of the bunker, but I still feel like Jake Holland is the most hated for no reason either. Auburn football player, it seems that way. And I would argue that, oh my gosh, another nice shot there. I would argue that Jake was a fine player. He just was being asked to do things that he couldn't do, and it's not his fault. Like, he just out here balling, you know? He was not a Tampa 2 middle linebacker. It's just not him, and that's not what he was made to do, and it's not his fault. Donnie says everybody got upset with him, and he bumped the TJ Finley thread. I saw there was some random bumpings going on with TJ Finley. There was a Zach Calzada bumping the other day. There was another one. That people get so mad about it. Like, once they get bumped, I start getting like reports like, yeah, this thread has been reported by 4 people. I'm like, oh God, you know, if it's been reported by 4 people, there's only one of 2 things happen. Somebody used the pejorative, or somebody bumped an old thread that's pissing everybody off. There's the only 2 things that would get that many reports. But Real Deal definitely got, I think it was 3 reports this morning. I was just like, guys, come on now. Satoshi, let's not go down the Zeke Pike road. Things have not turned out well for Zeke Pike. Well, they didn't. He might be doing better now. They were not going well. Not Salty says bunker, rational. Those 2 words don't often collide in the same sentence, JG. I said this is the most rational subset, which means it's probably not actually all that rational. But it's not off the reservation like some of these other cats. You know what I mean? Have we even seen Stump lately? Is Stump still posting? I can't say I've noticed him. He's not somebody that I would necessarily notice, but I figured after the election he might need some time off or whatever. Just to kind of, you know, Just get his senses back together or whatever. It's fine. Sometimes you win and sometimes you don't win. That's the way it goes. That's how life works. All right, these are hot. Beppo would tell us hot, fresh stats. My man, you know what, Satoshi, he might be good now. I'm just saying, like, he left Auburn, he went to Louisville. Things got really bad for him at Louisville. He might have turned it around. Not Salty said that Stump posted today. Okay, good. He's just not somebody I would notice very often. He's usually okay, like when he's posted on the regular board. You know, he's a little soft, but it's fine. But it's when it's on the politics stuff. It's just like. Let's see. Donnie's talking about Denver having himself a night. 17 points on 5 of 7 shooting from 3. That's not too bad. Oddly, has not a single rebound and no assists and no turnovers. It's kind of weird for him. Someone who has the ball in his hands as much. Beppo says, JDT, you sniffling. You're cold. No, man, I don't know what's going on. I'm not even like a little bit sick. Shit, I haven't even really been out very much lately. So I don't think I'm sick. Like, it's just like, I think really at the end of the day, I'm probably not supposed to have a cat because I'm like vaguely allergic to them. But I mean, I like cats. So sometimes if I'm hanging out with my cat a lot, like I'll start sniffling and I just take a Claritin and I'm fine, but I don't have any up here. Hot, fresh stats. That's stats. My man. There he is, Beppo. Let's see. Runner 24 says he's off. He's on the Eastern time zone. It's getting to be that time. Before you go, smash the likes. Appreciate you, Runner 24. And I'm sorry that I gave your commendation to someone else today. But I tried to make it right on the show today. And I do very much appreciate the suggestion. I put it into action today, in fact. What a legend. If it weren't for, like, feedback, I would never get anywhere, I'm telling you. Daniel says, is it weird to say Pavia could be back for another year? I know he's, like, seeking legal relief on this, right? He's basically suing or threatening to sue to try to get another year of eligibility just to continue the dream, right? Ephesians says Taillights, a.k.a. Corey Grant, would be a great one to have on Shay G. Yeah, Corey's good people. I like him, too. 3-point shooting, 6 of 20. Yeah, Denver's 5 of those 6. So, yeah, it's kind of ugly without him. Chad is 0 for. Miles Kelly is 0 for, which is unusual. Tahad's 1 of 4. So, yeah, it's pretty ugly. And I'm kind of struck by the lack of free throw shooting. Just kind of game to game. We've talked about why it's like that. You know, this team is kind of more jump shooty than some of the previous Pearl teams. And it's fine because Auburn is a good shooting team at this point. It's nice to be able to say that and have it not be ironic. Beppo wants to know, is Pavia a grandfather yet? Sausage Broker says Broome has made me get into the Blantons. Him thumbs upping fans. Wow, that's a tough one to say. Him thumbs upping fans, which is, you wrote it perfectly. And eating fruit snacks and cutting up is positive. Yeah, that's definitely positive. Real Deal says, is this team a Final Four? Yeah, for me, and people have asked me before, is a Final Four bust for this team? For me, it's Elite Eight or bust. But I think you can make an argument Final Four bust. But Final Four is so weird, man. It's so much about matchups, and I don't necessarily think the best team gets into the Final Four all the time. So it's just a matter of a little bit of that's luck. But I think this team, if it doesn't get to the Elite Eight, you'd have to say that's a disappointment. But last year, and they lost to Yale in the second round, and I don't want to bring up bad memories, but yeah, they were still, to me, like 2 rounds short last year. And this team's markedly better. This team actually has shooters. Well, the last team had Denver, but he's just playing on a different level as a shooter now. That's a bad pass from Denver. Was that a bad foul from Chris Moore? I don't know. It's probably a good foul. Tim says, I just feel like Auburn's going to get shafted with seeding. It does seem like BP gets more than his fair share of lumps when it comes to seeding. But Stu Pup says the NCAA tournament is a cruel, cruel mistress. You're so right, man. It is so tough. First round. God, Kanuman, thank you. Thank you for the and Ephesians as well. Sometimes that stuff gets away from me. It was the year before when it was Iowa, right, in the first round, and then maybe Houston in the second round. Chevy Poo. That would be good. He's also begging to coach at Auburn. I didn't know him that well. He's kind of like the first era where I didn't know players as well because just the way things changed, the way the protocols changed at Auburn specifically, but really everywhere. Somebody asked about Kenny Irons. I love Kenny Irons. I don't know if he'd want him on the call, though. It would be a long call. He's a talker. He's extremely entertaining, but he's a talker. Oh, what a nice full court Dunkski alley-oop. Chad Bacon lasagna with the assist. And Cheney with the Dunkski. And Blake was dancing. I think he was doing the Humpty dance on the sideline. I think Chad's going to be okay here. He was grabbing his face, and I was worried that he broke his nose or something, but he's all right. More like a jaw, looks like. Looks like him and BP are giving somebody the business. The verbal business, I should say. Yeah, Chad's actually getting hit by two people there. He's getting hit by the white dude and then the other guy coming up over the back. So he's got one guy with his arm in his throat and the other guy's like banging him on the head like a whack-a-mole. I don't think there's anything nefarious here, but I do think it's a pretty serious foul. I mean, I don't know. AU Taxman with the RIP G-Shock. My man right there. All right, stop what you're doing because I'm about to ruin the image and the style of the Shields too. I look funny. But you're making money, CCO world. I hope you're ready for me to gather round. I'm the new fool in town. Because I'm about to ruin the image and the style of the Shields too. My man. So glad we can all enjoy the Humpty dance. My wife was playing karaoke the other day for her holiday party. This was on Friday night, I think. And at the end, I was like, I'm going to crush the Humpty dance. I got you. And then I get on there, and it's copyright blocked. I was like, how can this be? How can this be? All right, GW giving me an update that the Thunder are down one at halftime. Obviously, the refs are cheating, and someone's on the take here. Sean B thinks it's fair to say anything short of the Final Four with this team is a disappointment. This team is full of seniors, and it might be a few seasons to rebuild. Yeah, I think it is probably going to be that. Unless they have a really insane... Look at AD. What a good teammate, man. Unless they have an insane cycle in the portal. Or just a lot of things have to go right. They have to be the right players popping in. They'd have to actually get them. I don't know if I'd trust that. Let's see. Daniel P says playing karaoke. Yeah, did I use it wrong? Singing karaoke would probably be the correct verbiage there. I was disappointed not to be able to do Humpty Dance. I ended up singing Boys in the Hood, which I know the first three verses, and then there's like a fourth that I don't remember. I was like, are we still going? Okay, we're going to continue doing it. Boy, he is lit up, isn't he? Georgia State coach is mad. AP, you better get your boy. There you go. He got him. Alan Payne giving him the menacing look, though, down there. Pack your bags, Coach Aids, what Small Victory says. Pack your bags. I once got busy in a Burger King bathroom. I'm crazy. Allow me to amaze thee. They say I'm ugly, but it just don't faze me. I'm still getting in the girls' pants, and I even got my own dance. Yeah, Real Deal says, what a clown show. That was a little too much, but, as a guy who loves Will Muschamp, who among us, right? Well, I know exactly what he said, Kanuman. He said, "Step off, I'm doing the hump." Kanuman says, "I'm going with." Was Ifabur? Isn't that what it is? Ifabur. Oh, I tried to do Beppo. You said Ice Ice Baby karaoke equals legit. I was trying to do Houdini. I had a dry run before the party started, like when nobody was home, and I was trying to do Houdini by Eminem, and I thought that I knew that song well enough to be able to hit it. I did not know it well enough to hit it. So I did. Oh. I think he said that's not a foul. That's not a MF and foul. And look at my man, Matt Crouch. He's right there listening to every single word. He's the replay man. Matty Crouch. Absolute legend. Stupub says this Georgia State team is awful. Yeah, they're not very good. I bet you, BP loves to go this team's going to be challenging for their conference title this year. He does that all the time. He won't be saying that about this one. Chad Bacon Lasagna getting some free throws because of that mean, flagrant foul. And Coach Hayes thinks that they're being a little too litigious with the officiating crew here. Chad Bacon Lasagna hits them both to get Auburn up to the 72-point mark. Terrence, what's up, man? I'm glad to see you here, bro. Chip says BP needs to let their coach know to swing by Bammerhauer's to get some free gooey fries on the way out to Atlanta. They were technically at the game. That is true, right? Satoshi, we don't even know how Georgia State is getting free throws here. We don't know. I don't know how Chad Bacon Lasagna could possibly have been found to be guilty of anything there except getting a rebound and getting hit in the face. He had position. Wait, hold on. This is round 2. So Chad's already hit 2 free throws in this situation. Now he's going to get, I guess the last 2 were the technical free throws, and now these are the common foul free throws. Poppy Clan asks a good question. Has anyone actually had lasagna with bacon in it? I bet somebody has. I haven't. The only lasagna I eat is the one that my wife makes because I hate ricotta cheese with a passion, and that's what everybody wants to put in their lasagna, but Courtney won't do it. Let's see, Sam jumping in, my man, a pillar of the community. We love Sam. Says JG, is JP playing any better? Also, who I've called Tahad Zep Jasper 2.0 sucks. JP is not playing any better because he's not playing. Well, no, maybe you could make the argument that he is playing better because he hasn't fucked anything up. Of course, he hasn't played. Cheney got a little ahead of himself on that one. Got a nice bucket in transition there. I haven't said that many times tonight. Auburn's transition defense has been beguiling, at least from a Georgia State perspective. Sam, if you want to clarify in the comments, is JP playing any better? Also, who I've called Tahad Zep Jasper 2.0 sucks. Oh, he's just basically saying that JPP sucks. Okay. I think we're all in agreement that he's not been very good. Yeah. Chip says it better than I did. Says JPP's playing much better at 0 minutes. Daniel P. He's making sense here. Technically, somebody he thinks has made lasagna with pancetta, which I would agree is pretty much bacon. It's like a thin bacon. Revin says in the next bunker bourbon bash at the beach. Well, that's a lot of bees there. We should indeed have bacon lasagna. Just in honor, right? We also need to have the official gut bucket reckoning where he has a chance to nail in nails with the wrong end of a hammer, as I recall, is what we were doing. Old gut bucket. I thought he was going to be at the last one in the fall, but he wasn't. Brian P. in the house says, what it do, fam? Glad to have you here, G. G. There was something else here. Okay, Thomas K was explaining that the foul situation there was that they didn't call a foul on Chad Bacon-Lasagna. They called one on Tahad back when they were adjudicating that vicious throat slash, like trying to throat CBM. It was actually on Tahad because I was trying to figure out how in the world they would have called a foul on Chad there, but they didn't. So thank you for that. AU Taxman says the ball handling this year is globally so much better than years past, and it's not just the guards. Tonight's not a great night to discuss that because Auburn's got 14 assists and 9 turnovers, which is not a great ratio for them, at least not for this team. For past teams, that would have been terrific, but how about this 4 assists and 18 turnovers for Georgia State, huh? That's pretty tasty. Damn, Cheney had a nice... Oh, boy.
Drop!
You guys are a little ahead of me on this because my TV's a little bit on the fritz here, but wow. That dunk from, that was really the whole thing. Cheney he undermined a drive on the other end, and they just took the ball, went coast to coast, and dropped a big old hammer at the end of that one. That was a very, very sick play, Brian. You're right about that. Real Deal jumps in with his second super chat today. Formal apology to the bunk. We got to give a laugh on that. Tuesday was a bit boring. Got to make it a bit more interesting. I'm just saying, man, your wife better not be mad at you because we know that she's going to turn you into a frog if she wants to. Glad she doesn't read the bunker. She might have taken action against you. I just try to not be on her bad side. Walk very carefully. Raven talking about the gut bucket hammer. Boy, that was a bad scene. That was a bad scene, wasn't it? I can't believe I actually saw that happen. I saw a nail enter a guy's hand. And he really wasn't that bummed about it. Like, he was bummed, but he wasn't, like, in agonizing pain, like the way I felt like he should have been. Cheney with another flush. Another
Drop!
Auburn's up to 81, and I somehow have Georgia State as having too many points. That's a first. Yeah, for those of you who just joined, I'm watching this since it's just streaming tonight. I'm watching it on a VZO that like is like super janky, and like I think I'm way behind you guys, and I'm like speeding up and slowing down. It ain't going well. I got what I paid for on this one. Poppy Clan says we used to say Cheney yoked that dunk. Now, anytime somebody says the word yoke, even if it's YOLK, I think of a Model X Tesla, and I get jealous. Because they get to drive with a yoke. How many does Cheney have? I can answer that for you right now. Cheney has 26 on 12 of 14 shooting. He has 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 turnovers, 2 steals. He's had himself a night, y'all. Let's see if anybody else has had a crazy night. Denver's still at 17. He's been at 17 for a little while. And Chad Bacon-Lasagna remarkably has 19 points on 4 of 11 shooting, but he's got 11 of 11 from the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 turnover. He's joyful tonight. Oh, he's typically joyful, but he's having a particularly joyful night. He bumps it up to Auburn 83. Kai is checking in. Jakai Howard. Don't hit Janai on his right arm. Don't do it. I don't know what's going on with me. Terrence says, these are the deep questions. Question for the chat. When did Snoop Dogg suddenly become a go-to spokesman? He seems to be shilling everything these days. Well, dude, he was like the correspondent for the Olympics. I was like, what are we doing? Now he's doing T-Mobile. Yeah, I'm stoked about it. I'm here for it because I feel like he's about my age, and I mean, I love him. He's very funny. Chip says murder was a case that they gave me. Let's see. GW says, I watched all my college sports live on YouTube, and no, I don't have a YouTube paid subscription account. How do you do it then? Tell us the way. Brian P. says he got a card in the mail today from Cheney Johnson from On to Victory. I'm going to have to get that thing framed now. Everybody's really fired up about it. Yeah, they've been doing that, sending out that stuff, and I think it's really cool they do that. Ephesians asked about the Purdue game is in Birmingham. It is indeed. It will be there at the BJCC. Somebody was asking me about a TV earlier, and I missed what it was. See, Chip says, JG, you can buy a nice 43-inch Hisense at Costco for like $150 or less, $55 for $179. So the problem isn't that I can't afford a big TV. The problem is that I have this space above my computer, and I don't have a lot of. It needs to be small. So what I need is a really nice small TV. Well, they don't really make them, right? Like, I could get a really nice computer monitor, like the ones I use on my computers over here, but then it doesn't have the built-in apps and all that bullshit. So I don't really know what the solution is. Maybe that's something that number 19 could work with me on next time he's over here. He at least would have some ideas. I just wish I had something better there. Instead of an elf on a shelf, Raven is doing Snoop on a stoop. We love to hear it. Beppo says a competition between Shaq and Snoop for being the promotional guy. Absolutely. I like Shaq probably better, but I just love Shaq on the Inside the NBA show because he's funny to me. GW says if you search team name versus team name live, any college sports are always on YouTube somehow. Lou Carnesecca, how do we get talking about him? The former St. John's coach. Got to the Final Four in 85 with Chris Mullen. He was a big time. When I got going into college basketball in the 80s, he was a big guy. He was a really important person at St. John's. And then Rolly Massimino was the big guy at Villanova. And Judd Heathcote at Michigan State were big time coaches. Passed away. It's sad. He was big time, man. That's a nice drive there by number 1. Nice left-handed finish. We haven't seen as many nice left-handed finishes tonight with Janai on the sideline. The Real Deal asks, is this team a sweet team without Broome? I mean, I think it's a sweet team, but is it better than that? Probably not. We're talking about in my opinion, front runner for National Player of the Year. Got to get him back out there. See what's going on. Nice rebound by Dillon. Defensive rebound. Let's see. Raven says, JG, the solution is easy. Wall too small for a TV. Build bigger room to accommodate big TVs. Simple, non-economical solution. It makes perfect sense. I don't think you've been to my house, though, even though I've invited you to my neighborhood like every single day for my entire life. You would just have to see like my setup here. The wall behind me, or the wall, this direction where the TV is, it's not a wall. It's like the front of the house. I'm right above the front door, and so I've got like windows right here. There's nowhere that you wouldn't be able to hang a TV there if you wanted to. So my TV's mounted on like I don't know what you would even call it. Like a TV stand, I guess, that's really tall, Just basically sits it's like attached to the floor, basically. Sean B says it's crazy to think that our Ken Palm rating will probably drop after a 30-plus point victory. It could happen. Miles Kelly didn't score a lot tonight, but he played spirited defense and was a part of the win. We'll probably get a timeout here in a minute, and I'll update these stats. Jakai with a nice defensive rebound there. Brian P says, any details on what happened to Sweet Reverend Chet on Lake Martin? Like what happened? All I know on that is They were going to the Qualja grill, and it was closed, and so they were going to leave, and then he fell between the dock and the boat and went underwater, and that's the end of the story. I mean, you can't, when it's dark like that, you can't see, and for reasons that I don't understand, and I don't necessarily know that I ever want to understand, he wasn't, he wasn't able to be located. He didn't pop back up. He wasn't. Maybe he got knocked out when he fell, like he hit the boat with his head or something. I'm speculating here. I thought about it, and I just got myself into a place this morning where I thought about it too much, and I got myself in a bad frame of mind, and I just was like, I'm not going to do this anymore, so I'm not going to do it anymore. Chip says, you mean we can all gather in your front yard and watch the drain live through the window? You can watch the back of the drain, because like outside would be out there, right? So if you were looking through the window, you would just be on the sidewalk, and you see these like the blue lights on the windows. It's kind of eerie if I do the right color, but we ought to do one here at the house sometime. Like just have like, the pillars of the community come hang out. The folks that are like the super duper, like Kanuman and Pocket and Chip and Taxman and Ravin and Sam H and Blake and just like the the everydayers. Tim the Toolman, Don Proper Dickin, Stu Pup for sure, without a doubt. T-Park, we have to get T-Park over here. G-Dub. Donnie's here all the time with us, for sure. Terrence, of course. Yo Malcolm's not here tonight, but Yo Malcolm is great for the football shows. Ephesian's been big here lately. Him too. No, I mean, Brian, I wasn't trying to make it sound like me and Chet were super close. We weren't, like he's close to everybody though, or everybody feels close to him. But yeah, at a time in my life, about 20 years ago, when I was at kind of having a spiritual revelation, he was very helpful to me and shepherded me through a very important phase of my life, and was super non-judgy about, because I'm Catholic, and Catholic's not super popular down here. And some people, I don't want to name any names, Jay Jacobs, like mocked me for being Catholic. And I mean, it's fine. I don't really care if Jay, I don't care if he does it or not, whatever. It doesn't really affect me that much, but I felt like people were getting a little too provincial about it, but Chet's not that way. Chet's just it's all about your relationship with God, you understanding your role in your own life, and the thing, that you've got to be. Kai with a nice 3 right there. Splash. I don't know. I hesitate getting too religious on the show just because some people are just not into that. But if you're going to truly follow Jesus' example and do the things that we're supposed to be doing down here, you've got to forgive people and you've got to empower people. And it's two things that I, at that time in my life, had a very difficult time doing. And that's just the truth of the matter, is that if you're going to walk with God, you've got to be those two things. You got to be forgiving, because guys, seriously, how can I not be forgiven? How can I not be forgiving when I have myself been forgiven? That's stupid. That doesn't even make any sense. And when he brought that realization to my eyes, and that changed everything for me. Changed everything for me. Daniel D says, can we get to 100? God, I hope so. I want to see Blake or Presley get themselves a 3 to pop over 100. That would be the dream. It's going to be tough, though, with 8 minutes. I'm sorry, you're 8 points off. You've only got 1:20, and BP. Hey, JPP's in the game. Simo with a 3. Oh, there's a splash. We'll give Simo a rare splash. Splash. We need to get a turnover here, but see, BP's going to back up. Yeah, he's not going to even press them. I mean, there's no reason to. Need a quick turnover here or something like that. Ah, come on, man. That's a foul. Absolutely. Okay. With that dude's, he's got shoulder tape from Georgia State. He's got like shoulder tape on his shoulder, and it's popping off because it's like he's been sweating and stuff. It looks like a spider. Looks like a spider, like an arachnid. Here's Presley Patterson right there coming in. CJ Williams checking in. Two guys that bust their ass in practice every day, man. It's like Blake's checking in. Is that Blake checking in? All right, Jakai's got him to 96. Setting up an opportunity here. Now, BP is not cool with, in this situation, hitting that. There's Blake. BP's not ever cool with hitting a three, like late in a game like that. He would not be cool with that. So they may just be, unless Georgia State has a quick turnover here. Oh, you guys are ahead of me. It looks like JPP's. Is he going to make? Is it going to be the dream? JPP doing some nifty dribbling. Oh, he did. He got the 100. And the crowd goes wild. Look at the team. They're going crazy. Oh, I love putting triple digits on the board there. That's pretty sweet. Oh, Sean says the 3 was for the over. My man. We'll just give it a splash. Splash. Auburn was a 39.5 point overdog in that one, I guess. Favorite. How about that? Small victories. It's amazing how close Vegas gets to this, isn't it? Like, it's insane. Get right on the absolute line right there. And it's just such a, it's crazy how they do that. But Janai's at least laughing now. And he's got his arm up, like it doesn't look dead like it did earlier. He's kind of got it up. So I'm guessing he's going to be all right. It's Chad Pruitt getting a little mug time there, walking behind BP. Chad and his wife Tanya celebrating a anniversary the other day. Very happy for them. I love being around couples like them that just really, really dig each other. It's just good vibes, man. I get along great with my wife too, but I just love being around folks that just care about each other that much and just really genuinely like each other. All right, so that's a wrap for that, and I fortunately may not have to use the VZO streaming anymore this year. That would be wonderful, if you know what I mean. Matthew R says, good game. Good game, good game, good game, good game, good game. Let's get some final stats up here for sure, so we can marvel at some of these statistical numbers, particularly what Cheney was able to accomplish tonight. Definitely it's going to be his best game as an Auburn Tiger. And they did get their scoring. I remember early in the game I said they were at close to 1 point per possession, that they always shoot for 1.25. And they got there. And then some. Had a great second half. Oh, man, I almost got that perfect. Not quite. All right, points per possession. Auburn got just short of 1.4. 1.39. Very close. And 0.797 for Georgia State. Those numbers at the bottom right. Yeah, good numbers right there. Let's see. Assist to turnover, 19-11 for Auburn, which is, for most teams, that's fine. For Auburn, this Auburn team, I don't like it as much. 19 I'm good with. Normally they're under double digits for turnovers, but whatever. Georgia State, 7 assists and 20 turnovers. Auburn had 11 steals. And if you guys remember in the first half, they probably stole the ball 5 or 6 times, like right at the 50. And Auburn kind of backed off of that press a little bit, and Georgia State got a little bit better at it. Cheney, what a game. 26 points on 12 of 14 shooting is terrific. 8 boards, 4 assists, 3 turnovers, 2 steals. That's a stat sheet stuffer right there. And he ends up plus 28 in the plus minus. That's pretty good. Chad has such an interesting line. 19 points on 4 of 11 shooting, but he goes perfect 11 of 11 at the line. 6 assists and 1 turnover is terrific for him. Denver, he finishes with 17 points on 5 of 7 threes. But he was at that number probably with 10 minutes to go. It just wasn't really, they didn't really need him late. Miles Kelly's had better games. 6 points on 1 of 6 shooting. 4 of 4 from the line, though, and his defense was good. I thought he was spirited on defense. Janai, of course, got hurt. Dylan was limited by foul trouble again. Tahad was good, more in the first half than the second half, but still pretty good. 7 points on 3 of 8 shooting. 0 assists, 2 turnovers. Or am I reading that wrong? No, I'm right. JP got in for 1 shift late. Jakai had a couple shifts in the first half and a couple shifts in the second half. Looks like he did okay. 7 points, 4 of 4 from the line's good. 2 boards. Simo had that 3 to get him to 97. So he kind of got them to, in a position where they could shoot the 3 to get 100. That was nice. Turtle, 4 points, 3 boards, 3 assists, no turnovers. Remember, he had a couple really nice zip passes from high post down. He's pretty good. Sam H., my man, what's up, bro? Is Broome okay? He's not okay, but I don't think he's like terminal either. He got caught in a rebound situation where their arms were entangled. The guy kind of pulled away in a non-threatening way. Now, he wasn't trying to injure him or anything, but Janai's arm just kind of got stuck in a weird position, and he immediately ran off the court because he knew something wasn't right. And he's been, arm immobilized since then. But he looked like he was doing better. Some folks who were there in the stadium said that he was, kind of cutting up with his teammates and chewing on some fruit chews and just kind of like acting fairly normal. So that's good. Melee said it was the worst 100-point game ever, the 3-2 version of a 100-point game. I like it. Sausage Broker says Jakai and Turtle coming along as positive guys. That is absolutely true. Turtle got a chance to play more tonight, probably because Janai was out. Probably would have played Janai more like, 25 minutes tonight had he been fully available, which still would have kept Turtle, at his 6-8 minutes spot. But tonight he got 17. Playing center. 4 points, 3 boards, 3 assists, no turnovers. That's a pretty good night for him. And I like him. He's a pretty multi-talented. He's got a lot of skills, and I think people undersell Turtle. And the fact that he got in trouble and didn't play for a while and all that kind of stuff kind of obfuscates the fact that he's a pretty good basketball player, honestly. And I think he'll be doing that. Beppo with an interesting one, too. Peace out, my War Damn Eagle brethren. A, keep the drain going. B, boo. Donnie says it's the most underwhelming 41-point win you can ever have. That's like saying Auburn is the best 5-6 or 5-7 team in the country this year. The best 7-loss team for sure. There's no doubt about that. And did Sylvester Croom get fired tonight? I like that. Harkening back to the Mississippi State game, 3-2. How about that? Let's see. Gibb says, Janai with 2 blocks in 2 minutes. We were robbed the first ever 40-block game. It would have been great. He was on par. When he was injured, Broome was on pace for 40 blocks. It's so easy. Anyway, good game. Not very competitive, but I think the story of the night is just going to be Janai getting hurt, Auburn being mushy for about, I don't know how long, guys, 8 minutes after he got hurt, and then they just kind of settled in. Once Turtle started playing some center in the second half, when Dylan, he had foul trouble in the first half when he got back in, they started kind of playing a more normal rotation, and everybody started getting, feeling better about the way they were contributing. So, a great game from Cheney. Definitely his best game that I can remember as an Auburn Tiger. 26 points and 8 boards. That's pretty damn good. I'd like to see a few less turnovers, but, that's nitpicking. One Fly wants to know shoulder sprain, hyperextension. I wish I had an answer to that, brother. ESPN said in the first half the Auburn was going to reevaluate him at halftime to see. And they didn't really conclude what that meant. Did that mean just to see how he's doing or to see if he could play in the second half? Long story short, he came back out in the second half in an actual sling. But you could see him after the game. He looked like he was feeling better. He's probably, taking some Advil or some Excedrin or something, so he's probably not feeling as much. But, yeah, definitely reason for concern there. National Player of the Year potentially out with a shoulder injury, and he has a history. as we mentioned, with some shoulder issues. So let's just keep an eye on him. One fly does say Cheney's been balling all season. We were talking earlier, like year over year. I mean, he is on a different plane now, right? I thought he just lacked confidence last year. I didn't think he lacked anything else. I think he's got the skill and the ability to play on this level coming up from UAH, but I think sometimes just the speed of the game kind of made him a deer in the headlights a little bit. But now he isn't like that. He plays full speed, and he's good. So Donnie wants to know if he can donate his shoulder. Donnie will certainly take it, if you don't mind. Chip says his orthopedic degree is pending. Like never. Sausage Broker, I promise you, Senor Paton is going to give you some nuggets from post-game brews. It looks like it looks like B. Matt is at the game tonight. I thought he had an event he was going to, but I guess it was Stoltze that was doing that. But we got two guys there for sure, and they're going to be doing updates on the bunker about what is being said and what is being discussed. Melee says if we had Nike already, Janai's shoulder would never have been an issue. Terrence says Purdue's going to be challenging. Broome probably won't be available. That is my guess, that Broome will not be available, but I don't know, man. Sometimes weird things happen. Ephesians, who has had a great performance tonight in the chat, says, I'm out, Gentleman Jay. Man, thanks as always. Looking forward to signing Singleton tomorrow, watching your video on it. Damn right. I love Singleton. He's a good player. I've got him as the number 4 beast player on the list. Behind Poyser, who I think went elsewhere tonight. And the left tackle and Jackson Arnold for sure. So anyway. Ephesians, appreciate you, bro. You did great tonight. There he is, Chris M., the aforementioned. Number 19. The big question, is Nike going to make us the Nike basketballs? If so, RIP our shooting percentage. I happen to love the Nike basketballs. They're a little lighter. And I like the grip on them, too. I love the Nike balls. The Wilson balls are good, too. But I really like those Nike ones. Auburn will shoot with them. Auburn, when you're going to practice, and I like to shoot before practice, because there's nothing else going on. They always have the balls they're going to use it wherever they're going. So if they're going to Ole Miss, like Ole Miss has Wilson's, I guess, or whatever. And if they go to Texas A&M, maybe they got Nike. They use the balls of the team that they're going to play at their place, and so I get to try them all out. I like the Nike ones. All right, I guess we'll wrap it up there. Desperado's out of here. We got to go. That's all there is to it. And Melee says the Tate Beast Index had some movement today. I did. I had to take Phoenix Jackson off, which is kind of sad. And we added somebody on there. Oh, the wideout from Horatio from Wake Forest, which I like. I like him. I think I like C.J. Daniels better, but I like Horatio. Yeah, great name. I think in college we used to talk about a whore ratio, but I think it was different. Matt N says, I believe Poyser went to Miami. I'm happy for that kid. He is a baller, and I'm glad he's going to a place where I don't have to worry about him anymore. But I hope that he makes a lot of money and he gets the NFL and he torches it because he's a badass. My favorite player my favorite portal guy Auburn even looked at. I love him. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to wrap up the show here because the game's already wrapped up. And then we got another game on Saturday against the Purdue Boilermakers. That's going to be an interesting game. We'll definitely be covering, for those of you who are auburnsports.com subscribers, and I know most of you are, Henri and BMAT are going to be having updates on the board in real time about what's being said about Janai and all that kind of stuff. And then later in the week, we will progress toward that Purdue game and see how Janai's doing and if he's going to be available. And if he's not, talking about and writing about what Auburn's going to do. So that's going to be a big deal for the week. Also, we'll be doing portal stuff. You still got Singleton out there. You've still got C.J. Daniels out there. I wouldn't mind to see them trying to slide in there and try to get a nose tackle somewhere. I think they need one. But being able to get Amaris back, who is not a nose tackle, he's a 3-tech, but getting him back today, reaffirmed on the Auburn side, I think it's a big, big plus. So anyway, going to wrap it up there. See you guys at auburnsports.com during the week. Appreciate you guys being with me, watching our videos, and being part of the drain as well. Till I see you again, guys, again. Keep your feet on the ground. Keep reaching for the stars. And be good out there.